my upcoming 2017 travel plans that I'm cooking up right now. Welcome in, much love. Trav here, currently in Humboldt. And if you've been following me at all, you know I love to travel. I love to talk about travel. I love to help people go on trips, go adventure, experience new culture, experience new things. It's such a great opportunity. And man, I've been blessed in the past year. If you've seen me starting off this YouTube channel in a basement in Seattle, down to California for TEDx, TED Talk, made it out to Hawaii, made it out to Europe, made it out to Mexico, back in California now. Planning currently 2 months trip to Japan, probably from Japan to Hawaii, about a 6-week trip, maybe more, and depending on how things go, perhaps I'll go to Okinawa to surf, maybe I'll make it to Southeast Asia, but I'm currently thinking about Hawaii, yeah. And I'll tell you why, but first of all, again, the value in these trips, it's not to have just for fun, it's not just to be like, look at me, look at what cool stuff I'm doing, but I learn so much from the experience of doing it, from the people I meet, from the culture, and I'm really excited about it, and I thought that sharing what I'm thinking as I plan this, and I'm not going for about 7 weeks, July 17, something like that, that will be helpful for you. So first of all, Japan, and my impetus for traveling out there is for a Magic the Gathering competition, the Pro Tour. If I have a good result, I'll get to go to a World Championship on the East Coast in October, and that would be cool. So a lot of my plans are up to flex depending on how stuff like that goes. I've never been to Asia, I've never been to Japan. I had an opportunity to go to Japan 7 years ago, 2010. Invitation to play in the World Championship, but I was invited, but I wasn't sponsored, so I was working minimum wage at the time. I had $200 in my bank account. It was like, over $1,000 just for the ticket. I thought, I'll have another opportunity later. And here's that opportunity. Although if I could go back, I would take out personal debt to make it happen. I think I've been too scared of debt in my lifetime. And it's helped me in some ways not take on too much debt from college, but I think it hurt me in a few situations, including that, but it's time to go. So for the Japan trip itself, the plane ticket is sponsored, and a lot of the room is sponsored. I'm going to be staying with a bunch of Magic players for 2 weeks. And then what's next? I always want to think about what my goal is for the trip. My goal for a trip like this is, first of all, I want to experience the culture in Japan. I want to eat all the local stuff, try to get some local guides. And for the Magic event, I want to give it my hardest, try to qualify for Worlds, be the champion, the world champ. And I want to study how teams work with my team. I want to study preparation. I want to be in the best fitness I can be for this tournament to hold myself and hold Magic up to a higher standard, make it a cool thing. And then once the tournament is done, it's like, all right, I'm out here, now what? My business is online, I don't have to go back. What am I going to do? I've never gone to Asia, etc. So I also have to think practically. I have a lot of stuff on here about how to travel for cheap and stuff like that. And I'm in a situation where, depending on how things go, I might have to do that. I've been on the road trying to make this happen on these trips, buying all these plane tickets and paying for all these hotels and competing and stuff. And the design of my life is not to do that all the time. I don't consider it to be a sustainable thing, I like to live below my means for periods of time, like right now, so that I can do that for an extended period of time. But I haven't had a break between trips. So I'm looking at this one and thinking, well, maybe it makes sense to save while I do this, right? Budget. So the cheapest option to make a wild trip out of it is going to be, for me, and I'm not always thinking this way, it's like, when I went out to Hawaii, I wasn't thinking that. When I went out to Europe, I wasn't thinking that. When I went on this trip to Mexico, I was thinking, like, I will spend my last dollar to make this happen. if I have to. Fortunately, I didn't have to do that, but now budget is a concern, and I share that with y'all because for most of you, traveling, budget is a concern. So why Hawaii? Why not like Southeast Asia? So basically, Japan to Hawaii to California is not going to be much more expensive, and the flight is mostly paid for anyways, but it's not going to be more expensive than Japan to California. Hawaii is literally on the way, right? Whereas if I went to Okinawa, it's way out of the way. If I continue down Southeast Asia, it's out of the way, right? So Hawaii is on the way, and that's a cool thing. And another thought about that is, I know people in Hawaii, and I can stay places for cheap and for free. I went out to, I know there's a bunch of wind, hope it's not too bad, Kahumana Organic Farm on Oahu, out in Waianae, the west coast, semi-famous, but I have a good connection there. I stayed there for a week in October. I was very helpful, and that was good. And my host, I sent them a Christmas gift. I talk about sending gifts on here. Sent them a t-shirt, and I've corresponded with them. And I talked with them and said, yeah, I'm welcome to come back. So that I can stay, and I'm going to be required to do some work, but stay at a really cool place for free, eat for free, right, for a week or two. Similarly, on the Big Island, I stayed at a place, Polestar Gardens, which is really fucking cool and quite affordable. Really fucking cool. And when I was there last year, I was so helpful that by the end, I was there for 2 weeks, they're like reducing my rate. You don't have to pay all this, right? Because I understand if I provide value, then people just want me around, right? So that's what I'm thinking of doing. Spending 1 month, dogs, beautiful meadow. Spend 1 month out there, 2 weeks in Japan, 1 month, 6 weeks. This is kind of a loose plan that's going to adjust based on how business goes. Again, if things go real well, I'll expand my budget. I'll go to Asia, or I spike the tournament similarly, or extend the trip. You know, I like to leave things a little bit loose. But 2 weeks Japan, 2 weeks Big Island, 2 weeks Oahu, back to California with 6 weeks new knowledge, meeting new people, visiting old people. There's some other people I want to connect with in Oahu as well, you know. I'm drawn to Hawaii a lot. I have to say, I prefer Latin culture to the Asian culture I've been experienced to, just because of the warmth of it. But something about being, this is something I should talk about in other videos, but I'm a Hapa, that's the race for mixed Asian and European. And there's only one place in the world where the majority looks like me, and that's Hawaii, right? I go to Asia and I look a little bit different because of my Europeanness. But obviously in America and Europe, I look a bit different too. So Hawaii is the one place where I really look like I belong. And people will say, you know, are you from here? Instead of where are you from? They assume that I'm from there. So that's part of my pull to Hawaii. Again, culturally I prefer the Latin world, but you know, I could see myself trading time between, oh, that's why I'm in California, Hawaii, and I want to spend more time in Mexico. Europe's cool, but I like Latin Europe as well. Europe is the Latin world too. France and Spain I like a lot, so you know, it took some travel to figure this stuff out. So that's my plans. Obviously, I'm going to continue to make videos as I do it. I'm going to continue to run all my stuff that I'm running, come up with new stuff, learn a lot, share a lot. And my plans will alter. I'm just kind of throwing this out in advance because it's 2 months. I'm already thinking like what I'm going to pack, you know. All I really need, the last thing I need to get is a new backpack, I think. I don't have to. Yeah, I should get a football or a American football it's really nice to travel with something like that, because sometimes you end up with friend, want to go out and toss something around, or like meet random strangers, or kicking it in the street, and it's just a cool thing to do. Fun way to get involved with the random people, so, and specific people. Thinking about that. Got a lot to do between now and then, but I'm excited. I used to be really nervous about these things and uncertain, but now that I've done so much, it just feels normal. Another thing about this trip, thing I really want to get in Hawaii, I want to get a tattoo from Hawaii, something to remind me of the place, souvenir. Been having this thing in my arm, and it's missing clouds, it's missing beach right now. Get the clouds in Seattle, and that's my travel plan is Portland, Seattle, November, December, Pacific Northwest. I wouldn't pick to go there other than that's where my family is, and I have many friends who will be back there. And family and friends are ranked very, very, very highly. So it doesn't matter if I don't love the city, even if I was born there, because I love the people there. So that's part of my plan as well. And then probably come back to Humboldt. I'm considering changing my home base. I like Humboldt. But I think I could go somewhere further south where the weather is warmer. For my skin, it kind of makes sense. And I just find it to be somewhat stagnant socially for me. I thought that for a while I thought that it's me, I'm not doing enough, and that's true, but you can always look to change your environment. And I felt like Hawaii, I fit better because of the way I look, and the Latin world, I fit better because the culture makes more sense to me. And Humboldt, I kind of have neither, and I just don't feel like there's people. While interesting people travel through here, the local population is it's not mine. It's not. It doesn't feel right. So I'm not sure what the solution is. Considering moving further south, like my brother's in LA, I've got friends down in San Diego. That would actually get me closer to Hawaii and closer to Mexico, and it would be easier for me to travel to stuff than Humboldt. So I'm considering that stuff. We'll see how it goes, because I also mentioned that since October I've been home here for 3 months, and I've paid rent for 6 months, 7-8 months. So it's something I gotta figure out. Hope you found that useful. I know I'm just kind of rambling about my own journey, but if you're looking for inspiration to go do something, fucking do it. If you're making a trip, where is it? Write in the comments, where do you want to go? What's your plan? How long are you going to go for? How are you going to finance it? Who are you going to hang out with? What's the mission of the trip going to be? What's your impetus for doing it? Right. So, I went to Hawaii last year. My goal was to kind of scout for a home base a little bit. And I didn't, somewhat, that was somewhat successful. I don't know that I found the places I would want to live forever, but both of these locations I'm going to revisit are very homey to me, and I'd like to spend more time there. So that's the game plan, and I'll definitely will vlog out from there, but that's not for 2-3 months till I'll be in Hawaii. So got some time to chill. So much love, and I'll look forward to seeing what you have to say. Talk to you soon. See you in the comments.